Hey everyone! Welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Camaro and I am so happy to have you here. If you guys are returning, hey guys, how's it going? Hope you all are having a great day. Either way, thank you so much for stopping by and spending a little bit of your time with me. It means so much, so thank you, thank you, thank you. I have a couple of Cricut DIYs to share with you guys in this video. Also, this is a sponsored video by Cricut. So cool! I am super excited, super stoked that I am able to do this for you guys. So thank you so much, Cricut, for all the products you've sent and allowing me to do this. So I will be showing you how I made this cute little shirt. Adorable, right? It says dying to DIY. Of course, it's customized to myself, so you guys can make your shirt say obviously whatever you want, but of course I wanted to customize mine to like my branding. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, so I just want to mention a little disclaimer that the first half of this video might be a little bit slower to some of you guys if you are familiar with Cricut Design Space and have been using a Cricut machine for a while now. These are things that you might already know. So the first half of this video is geared more towards beginners per se, and I kind of try to slow things down for you and just really dive into exactly what I was doing and the steps I was taking for those of you that might not know how to do these things. However, the second half of the video though is a rockin' and a rollin'. I definitely get straight to the point and just get right into the DIYs, since I kind of went in depth in the beginning a little bit and taught you exactly what I'm doing. So instead of explaining it every single time, I thought I would slow it down in the beginning, explain it, and then speed through it in the second half. So that's just what I wanted to say about that. Anyways, if you're ready, then I'm ready. So let's get to it. For my first Cricut DIY, I'm going to be customizing this t-shirt for myself. This is just a plain basic Hanes t-shirt that I got from Dollar General. You can get these, at Walmart or Michael's, basically anywhere. So I just started by opening Cricut Design Space and creating a new project. I opened the little text box and started typing dying to DIY. I just thought it would be really fun to make a shirt, that I could wear in my intro videos or just honestly out and about and just kind of like promoting myself. So I picked out a font that I really, really liked, and then I just started enlarging it. It's just a lot easier when it's bigger to do what I'm about to do. I'm going to show you guys how you connect the letters to the words that are like cursive words to make it look like it's one flowing word rather than just separate letters. So once you make it a little bit bigger, you're going to go to this little box that says ungroup, and that just makes each letter separate from the other ones rather than one like sentence or words. Then you can move them as I'm doing now, and that way you can connect each of the letters to each other. Where the I kind of loops up, you can put the N right next to it and make this look like it's one flowing word rather than you picked up your pen and made separate letters, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to be moving the letters around till, I'm happy with how they look and how they connect with each other. And I'm just going to keep doing that till I have all of the words done. I did have DIY capitalized, but I didn't really like it after I was looking at it, so I do change it here in a second. But I'm going to finish what I'm doing to dying to. So once you have the letters placed next to each other where you want, you're going to highlight each of the separate words, and then we're going to go back to the top where it says group. It's right next to ungroup, and you're going to group each of these words together with themselves. So dying together and to together. So that way now they're all moving as one word rather than separate letters. So now I'm going to be moving dying to together where I kind of want it. And I grouped DIY as well. If I did not group them back, each of the letters would move by themselves rather as one word. And it's just easier to move all of 3 letters at one time rather than one by one. So here is where I change it. I decided, okay, I'm going to do all lowercase letters. So I enlarged it, ungrouped it, and then I'm moving those letters together again to kind of get them to connect, since it is like a cursive, flowy type of lettering, a type of font. So I, again, decided that I did not want the lowercase letters. So I'm just going to add a capital D in front of there. Just take out the lowercase d, and that fixes my problem. And again, so I'm just going to, add the D to IY, and then I'm going to take out the other DIYs and the lowercase d, so I'm just going to delete those out of there. Then I'm going to be highlighting DIY together as one group and grouping it back together so that way I can move the word up to the rest of the words to kind of put it in a line there. And I'm just going to play with the placement a little bit, just make sure everything is kind of even and centered and whatnot, and make sure that the words are about the same size as each other. So once I have that all done, I'm highlighting all of the words together, and then I am grouping those words together. So now they will all move at the same time once I click on it and move it and place it. They're not going to move as separate words anymore. Next, I'm going to weld this together. You can see that all of the individual letters disappeared and it's just one consolidated image. So make sure you're ready to weld this, because once you do, it's kind of set in stone. You can undo this process, but if you do anything after this step, you're kind of going to have to undo it all and then get back to the welding step, or you have to start from scratch and, enlarge it, ungroup it, move the letters, and all of those things. So make sure you're ready to weld it. All right, so my next step, I'm just playing with the sizing. I'm making sure that it's sized correctly to the project I'm going to place it on. Once I'm ready to do that, I'm clicking Make It, and this part is kind of almost self-explanatory. It's going to walk you through each of the steps. I'm clicking with out of matte because for the Cricut Joy, which is really cool, they have something called smart vinyl, smart, smart iron-on, all of this stuff. So anything that has smart on it, it does not need a matte, which is really, really cool. If not, you have to put it on a matte, because once it makes its cuts, it's going to go straight through and it's going to cut on your machine, and you obviously don't want that to be happening. So for this project, I'm using iron-on vinyl, so I need to mirror it, which flips the image around because we need it to be cutting on the back. That's where the surface, when you flip it correctly, it's going to be adhering to your project when you iron it on. So again, it's asking me what type of material I'm using. I'm using Smart Iron-On, so I click that, and it even tells you, there's like a little caution sign that says make sure your image is mirrored, because it knows, I clicked iron on. So anything you're ironing on, it needs to be flipped and mirrored. Once I get to this step, I am ready to load my material, and I'm just picking through this Smart Iron-On pack. It has like a floral pattern, and then it has a couple of marbled like watercolor patterns, which are still really, really pretty. But for me personally, I chose the floral pattern. I really, really like that, and I think against the maroon background of the shirt, it's going to be so, so pretty. Here I'm taking my material and I'm flipping it upside down. I want to make sure the shiny side is face down. That way your machine is working on the correct adhesive side. So it loads it and makes sure that your material is long enough and big enough, for the cut. And once that is okay, you're just going to click go, and your machine just does everything else for you. As the machine is making cuts, it's also going to be telling you on your computer what percentage is done. 10%, 50%, 100%. So once it's completely done at 100%, it'll ask you to hit unload, and this unrolls the material from your machine, so you don't have to pull it, damage your machine or anything like that. It makes it really, really easy to grab your material out. So now that I have my cut all done, it's just time to prepare it to iron it onto the t-shirt. So I'm going to start by weeding out all of the unnecessary things that I don't need to be adding, to the t-shirt when I iron it on. So I'm weeding out the middles of the letters, and then we're just going to remove the background of those words. And here you can see after we're done doing that, we're only left with what we want to iron on to the t-shirt. My next step is to plug in the iron, let it heat up, and start, working on the placement of where I want these words to go. So I did try on the shirt and kind of eyeballed it, and like I was like, okay, the armpit area, and I want it somewhere in the middle right here. So once I was happy with the placement, I just started ironing it on, and you will know once it is ready that plastic material will just start coming off really, really easily. And if it doesn't, you're just going to take your iron and just go back over it a little bit, and that material will just pop right off. Here is what the shirt looked like after this step, and once I was looking at it, I was kind of like, you know what, it's missing something for sure. I just need to add a little, like an image or something. So I went back into the Cricut Design Space, looked at images, and Cricut Design Space has so many images to choose from. I was looking at scissors, paintbrushes, craft related things. There's so many things. I just couldn't find what I was looking for. So I did a quick Google search. Oh my gosh, my words are getting jumbled, you guys. I did a quick Google search and I found an image that I was kind of, going for. And it's kind of like a heartbeat and it has a heart in it. So it's kind of just like playing off of my name of Dying to DIY, it's kind of quirky and whatnot. So I really, really liked it. Anyways, you're going to start and you're going to save that image to your computer. And once it's saved, you're going to go to the upload button on Design Space and you're going to search for that image. Once you find it, you're just going to click on it and add it. And I always just click on simple. This just makes it really, really easy to get that image for you. It takes out the background. And once you're here in this step, you're just going to go to the little select tool. And you can see that these are like purple and white checkered boxes, so you know that it's going to be transparent. If it was solid, that means your machine is going to print that background with your image, and you don't want that. So I erase the background, and then we're just going to crop the image to only what you need, because we don't need all that extra voided like space that there's just nothing there. So once I made my crop, I'm just going to hit complete, and then I'm saving this as a cut image so that way it gets cut right away rather than being printed and then cut. That's just not the project I'm doing. So then I click on the image and select insert into project, and here you can see it's in my project exactly how I cropped it. And I'm just going to size it, and then I'm just going to go through all the other steps that I just got done showing you guys, so then it will be all ready to iron onto my shirt. So once I have it ready to iron onto my shirt, I'm just going to make sure that is the only part I'm ironing. I don't want to go over the other material with my iron because it will burn it off and it'll start to peel and it will ruin the shirt. So we definitely don't want to do that. But here is how that shirt turned out. I love it. So cute. I cannot wait to wear it everywhere. Alright, for my next project, I'm going to be using this white plain planter that is from the Target Dollar Spot. We're just going to add a really cute little saying onto it. So I just go into my Cricut Design Space and open a new project, add some text in there, and I'm just kind of playing around with the different fonts of just the idea, like the image that I had in my mind of how I wanted this little saying to look. And I decided on a font called Babette. I just really liked the way it looked. It's kind of just like free-spirited, flowy. It's just everything that I was looking for. So I did the, little technique that I showed you guys in the beginning. I ungrouped the letters, moved them closer to each other, regrouped it, and then welded that word back together so it's one consolidated word. Once I had Nama all set and ready to go, I picked out another font because I just wanted it to be two different styles of fonts. So I chose Avenida Com, which is another one of my favorites. I love the style of this font. So cute. So I typed in Stay Alive, and like Namaste Alive. So then I just made sure that it was sized correctly to the little planter and went ahead and printed that off with my Cricut Joy. And then here I'm just weeding out everything, weeding out the background and the inside of the letters. Then I'm going to take some transfer tape and my little scraper tool. You're just scraping that on there so that the vinyl adheres to the transfer tape, so it makes it easier for you to transfer the entire image to your project. So once it's ready to peel off, you're just going to pull at a 45-degree angle and kind of rock it back and forth. This really helps loosen it all up and it comes off just so easily. It just comes off with ease. After that, I'm just going to, line it up on my project, make sure it's nice and even, as straight as I possibly can get it. And then again, with my scraper tool, I'm just basically doing the opposite thing here. I'm trying to adhere the vinyl to the project. So once it's adhered, I'm just going to take that transfer tape, pull at a 45-degree angle, and rock it back and forth, and the transfer tape just comes right off. For my next step, I just took this faux plant from Michael's and I just pulled out the greenery part from the little planter. I'm going to take some of my little wire cutters and cut off the edge because I want the bottom to be as flat as possible. I'm then using these rocks from Dollar Tree to glue right into the middle of the planter. I'm just kind of trying to give it some height right there, so that way once I glue the plant on top of those rocks, the plant looks a little bit taller rather than looking like a bush coming out of the planter. I wanted it to kind of look more tree-like. So once I had the height that I was going for with the rocks, I just glued the plant on top of there. And then I took these like wood stems from Dollar Tree as well to kind of build up around it to give it some volume. And then I added more rocks on top. So that way I didn't have to fill the whole planter with rocks. I used some of the wood as a filler and then added some rocks on top. And that was it for this project. This one is, for all my plant killers out there. I can't be the only one. I hate to say that, but I don't know what it is. I try really hard and sometimes I just can't keep all my plants alive. So adding, this faux plant, it is guaranteed to stay alive forever. Namaste alive, please. And I did make another one off camera. I just really like the orange terracotta looking color of that one as well. So I thought a pair would be really, really cute. So really quick, I just wanted to give a huge thank you to Cricut. This video is sponsored by Cricut, so I am so thankful and so grateful for the products that they sent me and to be able to do this for them. So again, thank you, Cricut. Alright, so for my third Cricut project, I'm going to be using this sign from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to start by removing the knob so that way I have a flat surface to work on. I'm taking some Mod Podge and a little foam brush and just giving it a really good coat of that Mod Podge. And then I'm using this scrapbook paper that is from Michael's. I really like the quatrefoil design that's on there. And then it's textured as well, which is really pretty. So I placed it on there, gave it time to dry a little bit, and then just use an X-Acto knife to cut off the excess material. I then printed out this saying, "Come home safe," and I did this using the same technique that I showed you guys previously of, ungrouping, moving the letters, and regrouping and welding. Also, a really quick shout out to Shayna from Robinson Repurposing. She made a sign like this for her hallway and it said, "Come home safe," and I was obsessed. I love it, you guys. So cute. So if you have a chance, definitely go check out her page and her channel. You can find her on YouTube and on Instagram as well. So once I was ready to place the words on, I just needed to screw that knob back on so that way I could kind of place the words around the placement of the knob. Once I was happy with the placement, I just used my scraper tool again to adhere the vinyl to the project, and then I just pulled away that transfer tape, and here is how that project turned out, you guys. My goodness, so cute. I just really love the clean, modern look to it, but then you have that textured quatrefoil background, and I really love this one. Probably one of my favorite projects. Okay, on to my next Cricut project. I'm going to be using another sign from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to start by removing the back, and I decided to use the back of this. I thought it would just be easier for the scrapbook paper to adhere, on a blank surface rather than over the paper that was on the other side. So I just used a glue stick this time and covered the back completely, added the scrapbook paper, and then I just trimmed off the excess material using my X-Acto knife again. I then printed out another cute little saying using my Cricut and the steps that I've already showed you guys previously. I figured, since I've already showed you guys, why keep going back and doing that for you? So again, weeding out that those pieces, adding my transfer tape, and then I'm just going to transfer these words onto my project. So once I'm ready to place them down, I'm just going to, try to line everything up and make sure everything is nice and even. Once I'm happy with that, then I'm gonna use my scraper tool again to adhere the vinyl to that scrapbook paper, and then I'm just gonna pull back the vinyl. After that, I'm just adding the back into the frame again, clamping everything down, and voila, this one was done. Says, wash your hands, you filthy animal. I thought it was super fitting, you know, for what's going on in the world right now with COVID and all that, and it's just really quirky and fun. Alright, so for my last project, I'm going to be making a little container for my Cricut Tools. I'm going to be using this little container that is from Dollar Tree as well, and I'm just giving that a really good coat of paint using my white Waverly chalk paint. I think I gave this almost 3 coats of paint, just added more, you know, whether I could see the red still showing through and whatnot. Once it was coated with the white paint, I used this faux leather ribbon from Dollar Tree as well, and then these thumbtacks from Dollar Tree also. I measured, you know, the top of the container to the faux leather ribbon, and then I just cut 2 strips of ribbon, and then I just glued them back to each other, back to back, sorry. So that way you can see the faux leather on each side. Then I just added the little strap to the top and took 2 of those brass thumbtacks and put 1 on each side just to make a little handle at the top. I thought this was just a super cute touch just to give it that modern vibe. Then I printed off the words Cricut Tools, you know, using my Cricut Joy, and I just added those words onto my project. And this is how it stayed for a while, and then after looking at it for a little bit, I was like, you know, it needs something else, so I do add something here in a second. But before I do, I'm just going to, you know, start filling it with all of my utensils and tools for my Cricut machine. So cute. I think they fit so perfect in there. Alright, like I just mentioned, it was definitely missing something, so I went back into Cricut Design Space and I just looked up some images. I was looking for a frame to kind of go around those words. Once I found the frame that I liked, I just added it in there, make sure I sized it correctly to fit around the words that said Cricut Tools, printed that out, and again, just applied that to my project. And that was it for this one, you guys. Here is the final outcome for that project. How stinking cute. I really love the modern vibe to it. It looks so classy, and I really just feel like that frame just completed the entire look of this project. I'm so happy with it. All right, we have made it to the final walkthrough. Yay! I love this part always. I just really like to see, you know, all of my projects together, even if that's not, you know, where they're going to be grouped together. It's just really fun to see all of the finished projects together. So you guys will definitely have to let me know which one is your favorite down below. For me, I really think it's that come home safe sign, just something so classy and elegant about it, like has a modern farmhouse vibe to it. But also the planters are super cute. I just can't get over this saying, Namaste alive. I just love it. So you guys definitely let me know what you guys think about that one. Also, hopefully you guys learned something new today about using your Cricut machine and the design space. I definitely did not know how to, you know, ungroup the letters and to recombine them to look like one flowing word rather than like separate letters. I definitely did not learn how to do that until I want to say almost a year after having my Cricut machine. So I really wish I would have known that sooner because yes, after that, it's on like Donkey Kong. It just makes your projects look so much better, way more put together and high end, and just look way more professional. And honestly, yeah, I wish, like I said, I wish I would have known that sooner. So hopefully you guys learned something new from this video. Anyways, I know I'm rambling on, so sorry about that. It's just way more exciting to be able to use your machine to its full extent when you know how to do some of these, you know, tips and tricks. So I know these machines can kind of be intimidating. But that's all I have for you guys for this video. So if you're still here, leave me a leaf emoji down below. Give this video a thumbs up, you know, share it, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps me out and I appreciate it more than you know. Also, again, thank you Cricut for sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys next time.